I thought I'd do a little follow-up here on the new versions of the Crossfire firmware. This is the full big Crossfire transmitter, and this is the little Micro TX version 2. First thing I'm going to do is plug in the big one, the full one. Real quick, up on the screen, we'll come into TBS Agent X locally. Also clicked over here and found the switch right here for include beta firmware. So now this is the one I'm on. All the firmware does show in here through 609, which is the one I'm on. I haven't played much with flashing this here. More what I'm after here right now is we see in this big transmitter, RF power tab, frequency, head tracker, video TX, team racing, and about. We still have the problem of changes to this aren't reflected. That's a cosmetic problem. That's just a command in the software to refresh the screen when something like that is changed. We don't care much about that. Got team racing here and stuff. If we come out of this and go over into TBS Agent M and look at that same transmitter, full Crossfire transmitter, we see all the proper tabs up here: device, RF power, frequency, head tracker, video TX, team racing, and about. It matches completely. The failsafe button's not here. That's the only strangeness I see. Again, if we go in, whoops, come down on the bench and unplug the big transmitter and plug in the micro version 2 and do that same thing, we're back to the software problem that all of this doesn't show. Okay, here's the micro transmitter TX. We have device, RF power, frequency, video TX, team racing, and about. There's no head tracker on this one. If we go into TBS Agent M with this hooked up, connect to it. Again, video TX is not here. Failsafe was there just for a second, and then I saw it disappear. Bind's there. So there's this little software glitch out on the front page for both these transmitters, but the Crossfire Micro TX V2 is missing a tab up here. Oh, it's missing 2 tabs. My bad. It's also missing the team racing tab. Pretty strange, huh? And what I'm talking about there, if we come back into TBS Agent X, the local one, whereas Agent M is online via Google Chrome. We do have the team racing and video TX tab here. And I think we can change them a bit, with the one caveat that when you change this, you don't get to see the functions of it until you go out and come back in. Now you can see the switches for that particular thing. Again, that's a cosmetic thing. The rest of this is also cosmetic. I don't want to imply that there's something wrong with this hardware. We're talking about features Not basic function. Basic function of this transmitter is transmit your RC data from your handheld radio to the platform and telemetry back. It does all that well. It's done that well since day one. There's never been a problem with that part of it. It's these upgrades and such where they're adding features that I'm discussing here. This in no way causes the device not to work. One of my subscribers mentioned on the first video of this that he had not upgraded his Crossfire in ages. Well, of course. The basic function of RC data being transmitted and data being received works. It's these functions of this software that has a refresh problem for some of the switches when you choose things in here, like this power on switch doesn't populate with the 3 switch powers. This is still there, still selectable. Wow. Okay. As a programmer and a computer person and working in electronics for 50 years, those things bother me. But they're not completely crazy. Now we're going to go back and switch this back. If you watched what I was doing while I was talking, switch this back, and we're going to lose these 3 when I refresh now. We're going to see what happened with that 500 milliwatt. It didn't change. Oops, it did. I changed it to 250, not 500. Sorry. Wow, how about that? So, again, these are cosmetic problems with this program, but we can see down on the bench that when we work with the original full power big boy transmitter, these 2 programs pretty much agree for the tabs and everything. It still has problems on this one with the repainting of the features inside TBS Agent X, and it has, but the Micro TX transmitter, this one right here, the smaller, half the power, 1 watt instead of 2 watt, much cheaper too. This one has lots of software problems in Agent M and Agent X. I just wanted to compare those 2 and see what the differences are, and I was kind of surprised at the difference. So I think either program will make changes to the configuration with no problems. I honestly think with the switch up here on the screen for include beta firmware, that even TBS Agent X may flash these well now and not have to use Agent M to flash them like we did when the update first came out the first of the month, the 6.x version of the software. Anyway, I was curious about some of those things. I did go back in and compare these 2 transmitters software-wise with each other, and that's what I found. I'm not making any complaints. I'm not trying to say this is bad. As a programmer, hardware developer, working in electronics for 50 years, again, I've seen this a lot. These are small cosmetic problems with functions, extra functions of these devices. The basic function, RC data in and out, has been rock solid the whole time. Anyway, I just wanted to add that. Thank you guys.